For many years of my life, I've always been in pursuit of happiness. I was addicted to feeling good, but I never knew how to achieve that or what that even felt like. I would always take my cues from other people, like when a friend had something cool, I would see the twinkle in their eyes and the smile on their face. And I would always tell myself I had to have that. But it was as if I felt their excitement, but what I felt was adrenaline, and that adrenaline felt good. And every single time I told myself I had to have it, and I was always willing to do whatever it took to achieve that. It didn't matter if I had to do something illegal or if I had to steal it from a friend. But once I obtained it, it was no big deal. It'd be like a dirty shoe. I would just kick it aside and move on to something else. I also tried to find happiness within alcohol. I would drink as fast as I could and on an empty stomach when I was with my friends. Another avenue I chose was going down the rough road of addiction. In the beginning, in my early years, I was in the minor leagues of doing hash and smoking weed. And then in my 20s, I graduated into the major leagues of cocaine and crystal meth. I didn't like myself. I didn't even love myself. And I always felt I was not good enough of a person for anyone else to like. This pain became like a cancer growing inside of me, eating away at my inner self and destroying me. The mental anguish was sometimes too intense to bear, and I only had myself to shoulder the pain. This led to a life of addiction, of violence, and a crime that landed me in prison for 27 years of a 54-year sentence. So where did this pain and this emptiness start? For me, I can trace it back to a time in my life in the 4th grade. My teacher, Sister Mercedes. You see, I have a learning disability, and it made reading hard for me. Sister Mercedes would stand me in front of the class and have me face the other students. She would read something from a textbook, and then she would tell them what my answer was. And she would tell the whole class that I was dumb and stupid for the whole year. This happened repeatedly. To some, Sister Mercedes was a saint, but to me, she became the devil of my nightmares. And I never asked a teacher for help again. And year after year, they would just keep passing me from one grade to another. The first time I ever read a book and could retain what I read, I was 21 years old, and I was in the California Youth Authority. It was a Louis L'Amour book. Sister Mercedes is where I can recall the pain beginning. And that pain kept escalating. I didn't love myself. I didn't like myself. And because of this, I didn't respect other people, their property, or their rights. This led to the revolving door of in and out of prison. There were a series of events that happened to me while I was incarcerated that led to me attending a Christian retreat called Kairos in 2003. It was as if God picked me up and moved me to where his love was at. Once I went on that retreat, everything changed. I started liking myself, loving myself, and I started valuing other people and caring about them. My pain gave me strength, but it also showed me that I had to release my pain and let go of my hurtful past. Letting go of my past made me stronger, and God is who brought me to that happiness. I'm sure we all have had this pain inside of us. Release your pain and find your happiness from within. Now, you don't have to live a life of crime, serve time in prison, or be a drug addict like I once was in my past life. How many people in our society are in constant pursuit of happiness? How many people are struggling in relationships or mental health, or feeling alone and numb and looking in whatever way they can to fill that emptiness? The fact that I am standing here tells my story is proof that people can change. I believe God can change anybody. I believe that rehabilitation can take place, but a person first must have that desire to want to change. Without that desire, change can't take place. After I started to accept God into my life, I started to develop a new mindset. I started realizing that I didn't want to victimize anybody and hurt anyone anymore. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I say happiness is in the eye of the beholder. What makes me feel happy may not make somebody else feel happy, and what makes someone else feel happy may not make me feel happy. When I was looking for things to make me happy outside of myself, looking for those adrenaline hits, I ended up hurting other people. But when I found my light from within, I found my freedom. My freedom released me from all that pain, hurt, shame, and sadness, and everything else that stunted my mental and professional growth. I believe in the saying, positive mindset, positive life. Life is not perfect, but for me, I am perfectly happy with the choices I made in coming to God. I now have my freedom, and nothing is holding me back. Since then, I was released from prison August of 2019. I was discharged off parole September of 2021. My prison number was 36 years old. The last time I did drugs was June 5th, 1992. And last year, I drank 6.5 beers. I live an honest life. I'm a Eucharistic minister at my church, and I'm involved with Crescile, a group within the Catholic Church who share a similarity to Kairos inside prison. What's holding you back from finding your light and gaining your freedom? I remember being on my knees praying to God that one day I would be free and I could go to church with my parents. And He brought me that freedom. Just a couple weeks ago, I found myself accepting communion at my church with tears in my eye because I knew that today I am free and my prayers have come true. I am not just free from the walls of prison, but I am also free from the walls of my mind. God gave me my freedom. And I'm not just what Sister Mercedes said in the 4th grade. God gave me my freedom. Maybe He could give you yours. God was patiently waiting for me to come to Him with a full heart. And I know that He is waiting for you too. Thank you.